Okay team, here we go. Today we're looking at running shoe selection and trying to work out what is the best shoe and model for your foot. Normally I would say, if you're living here in Melbourne, I'd say get down to Foot Pro on Glenferrie Road, Melbourne, and they will certainly look at your feet and tell you which shoes are best for you. If you're living in Phuket, I would probably say take a flight to Singapore, get into the running lab. Because there's not too much there in Phuket in terms of specialised service or advice. But if you are in the hunt for some new shoes, a couple of things you should look for. First thing you want to look at is what's called the heel counter drop. And if you look at these shoes here, the Brooks Adrenaline, the heel counter drop, this is 11mm drop. Your heel sits right there in the shoe. If you draw a line straight across to the front of your shoe and right across to the midfoot there and the forefoot, then your forefoot's going to be sitting a little bit lower as compared to where your heel is. So that drop from that line down to where your foot sits there, that's what's called the heel drop. So as I said, this is 11mm. The reason that is quite high is, if you're looking at myself and my running, I have very flat feet. My feet look like that. So when I'm running, I do pronate or roll in quite excessively. And over time or distance, as in running long, that will put lots of strain and stretch going through my lower limb muscles from my Achilles up into my calf muscles. So I need to avoid that stretch as much as I can. So for someone like myself, and many of you out there will have similar issues as I have, then you want to look at a heel drop that's probably higher than normal. And again, that will avoid that excessive stretching happening through the Achilles and calf. The other thing you want to look at is you want to provide some extra support through this heel counter and arch on the medial side protection. So in most shoes they have different foam here, and if you look at that, I'm tapping it now, it's quite dense, so that will avoid that rolling in or excessive pronation happening when you run. So you look at the heel counter, so you want a slightly higher drop if you have a history of calf or lower limb injuries, and you want a denser foam or extra support or stability through this inside section of the shoe. So this shoe is perfect for long running. If you come down the shoes here, well, I've got 4 different shoes here. I've got 2 of the Hoka One shoes here. This one provides a little bit of stability because it has slightly thicker foam through there, as you can see. And that runs almost the length of the whole shoe. It's not a super dense foam as compared to the Brooks, but it is slightly thicker than the foam that sits above it. So this drop is only 5mm though. So although it provides good support through that medial or inside part of the shoe and your foot, it does have a reduced heel counter drop, 5mm. So you're almost sitting close to what's called a barefoot running style or minimalist running shoe position. I keep these shoes for my shorter runs, or anything up to about 10 or 12k. The shoes down to my right or your left are quite minimal. I've got the Hoka Cliftons here, and also a pair of On Cloud Surfers. This has a 4mm drop, this shoe, and this has a 5mm drop as well. But this shoe does not have any thicker foam through this medial section, so it does not control that excessive rolling in. So for someone like myself, again, these shoes are good for very short runs or just wearing around at work. I wouldn't run long in these shoes though for myself. If you're biomechanically perfect with your running, which to be honest not a lot of us are biomechanically perfect, unless our name is Mo Farah. So if you are biomechanically perfect, you could go for these shoes no problem. So you want to get as close to that barefoot running style as you can. And that is being quick on your feet, light on your feet, not excessively rolling in, landing midfoot, getting off the ground very quickly. If you do run like that, then yeah, for sure, go for the minimal style running shoe. You won't need the bigger clunky shoes. The big clunky shoes, that's what we all used to run in years ago, and that actually sort of promoted a poor running style, which is landing on your heel and staying on the ground a long time, which actually stops you or limits you from running down the road quickly. So try and get away from the clunky shoes if you can, but you've got to weigh up your potential, or also consider your history if you have a history of lower limb issues. So my main advice is get into a specialised running shop, like here in Melbourne, Foot Pro again, down on Glenferrie Road, Melbourne, or if you're overseas, but get to Singapore if you can, and you'll get some specialised advice But consider the two variables I spoke about, and get some good wheels on your feet and enjoy your running. Good luck, guys. See you at training.